everybody, and welcome to another Top 5 board gaming video. Today I'm going to be talking all about Kickstarter games that I regret backing. Before I get started, if you haven't done so, please take a look at all my social media pages as well as my Patreon. On those you can interact with me as well as my channel in all sorts of really fun and unique ways. But that said, moving right into it, you guys know Kickstarter is both a blessing and a curse, not only to board gaming but a lot of different fields. And I've talked a lot about it on my channel in the context of how it's good, how it's bad, all of this kind of thing. And I've also talked about my 5 Kickstarters that I really regret not doing. However, this time we're doing the other side of the coin because let's face it, on Kickstarter you don't really know what you're going to get. And in this case, these are the ones where I didn't get something I really liked for one reason or another. Whether it's because it took a really long time for a relatively mediocre product, or it's just a bad product, or any other number of things. But as always, you guys know I love hearing from you, so please put your thoughts in the comments below. What are Kickstarters that you regret backing and why? With that, we're going to get started with my number 5. At number 5, I've got Nuclear War. Essentially, this is on the list because I still haven't gotten everything from it yet, and that's why it's really low on the list, is because I like the game. This is a remake of an old game from, I believe, the 70s or something like that, where you're essentially launching nuclear missiles at your best friends. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool sort of tongue-in-cheek party game, but the thing is that the KS still is technically not finished. It was supposed to be finished literally a couple of years ago, and I'm just like, why isn't this done yet? Like, I want to be able to check the little box that says it's finished, but again, low on the list because I still enjoy the game by and large. I'm just kind of frustrated that it's not technically finished yet. Nuclear War, my number 5. At number 4, I've got Joking Hazard. This might come as a little bit of a surprise if you guys have played this before, because it's actually pretty fun. Like, if you like Cyanide and Happiness, if you like Cards Against Humanity, those types of games, that's essentially what this is. I'm a huge fan of Cyanide and Happiness. I absolutely love it. The problem I have with this game in particular is how much I paid for it. I paid, I think it was 35 or 40 bucks for it, and now you can get it on Amazon for 25. And it's just really annoying because, like, I guess I paid for the privilege of playing it first, but I really didn't care about that. I just wanted to get the cool game. That's all. That's really all it was. But instead, I ended up paying extra compared to everybody else who ended up buying it retail. So I may as well have waited because I'm not an early adopter person. I really don't care about that kind of stuff. So it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It really irked me just because I feel like I didn't get my money's worth in the sense of I paid more than what everybody else is. But Joking Hazard, my number 4. At number 3, I've got Steampunk Time Machine, and I believe this is a game that I have literally never talked about on my channel, and the reason is this is the first Kickstarter that I ever backed, and I really didn't like it. It just was not fun, but I thought the theme sounded really cool. It's a really interesting thing where you're essentially playing as a scientist trying to build a time machine, and I was like, that sounds really cool. It's a lot of cool stuff that I personally enjoy. It has a theme that I like, and it has mechanics that I tend to enjoy, but the game itself was just boring, and it was rather poorly executed in my opinion. I simply didn't particularly care for it. On top of that, it cost me like 40 bucks for this, and it's essentially a print and play. So I just didn't see the value in this, so it's just been sort of sitting in a basket most of the time since I got it, even though I played it a few times. But either way, Steampunk Time Machine, my number 3. At number 2, I've got BIOS Genesis. I believe this is the most recent Kickstarter I received, except maybe Rising Sun, but I talked about this a while ago in the same context that I'm about to, where I love science, okay? That's why I got this game. It's because it's a science game. In this case, it's about the beginning of the universe and how nucleic acids and everything sort of came about. But the thing is, I just do not like the game. It is exceedingly complex. It's overly complex. The theme just bogs everything down. And in the end, the game is simply not that fun. And that's why I ended up just not enjoying it. Like, I really appreciated the theme, and I was like, oh, cool, they talk about this thing, and they talk about this thing, and they talk about this thing. I'm like, whoa! I've never seen that in a game. And thinking about it, it's like, well, no wonder you don't see it in a game. It's because it bogs the game down and it makes no sense. That said, it was relatively inexpensive, but this one bugged me almost the most because it was the theme that I was so excited about, and I was really looking forward to giving it a try and really having a good time. And I thought that it was a better buy than it turned out to be, I was just disappointed. That's really all it is. Not to mention the fact that this is the second edition, which means that it came out before, and so apparently this has happened twice now. It's very sad. But either way, BIOS Genesis, my number 2. At number 1, I've got Orcs Must Die. I was one of the people who bought not only the Order Edition, but I got the Order Edition, the Unchained Edition, and all of the extra miniatures. I got everything, and that's why this game is number 1, because I don't like it. It's not good. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I love the video games, and that's why I bought the board game, because I was hoping to have that same kind of weird, quirky, fun humor, and the same sort of idea of running around and setting the traps, and, you know, like if you're playing the Unchained, then you get to like send in all these hordes of bad guys and the big boss dudes, and to an extent, you do get to do that. Don't get me wrong, but it is just, it doesn't capture that sort of magic, that je ne sais quoi, that particular little something that the video game has, and that's what really disappointed me. But the biggest reason that this game is at number 1 on this particular list is simply because of how expensive it was. I spent, I think it was about $150. It was quite above $100, and for me, that's a significant expense that I can't afford to waste. So I'm really annoyed about the fact that it didn't work out as well as I was hoping to. But again, thematically, I was really looking forward to it. Miniature game, it's kind of with me. I've talked about that before, but just overall it annoyed me that I didn't like a game that I paid so much for, that I was really looking forward to, that was based off of a theme that I absolutely love. Just everything about it kind of fell flat. Orcs Must Die, my number 1. Well folks, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video on my 5, I guess, most regretted Kickstarter backings. Again, I know that you guys have a whole bunch of them, and I'm curious as to your reasoning mostly. You saw with mine, there's all sorts of different stuff, whether it was the overall cost to fun ratio, the fact that it takes a very, very long to get some of these, or just generally not what I expected, all of these kinds of things. There's a lot of different reasons for me, but I'm curious, what are reasons for you? What do you consider something that you regret, or what is your threshold for regretting a Kickstarter? Let me know, as always, anything and everything in the comments below. You guys know I love to hear from you. But with that, thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you next time.